to the first part of our tutorial. We are going to teach you how to design a website. So first of all, let's look at a website. What is a website? This is a typical website. When you go to Google, you open your browser and you search, and a list of websites or suggestions come out, and you click on any of that and it leads you to a site. So this is a typical example of a website. And this is a website owned by I think the Summer Services, and shows their mission statement, their vision, the services they offer, and a couple of other details. Now, how they did develop this, write this, and then display it to you. That is what we are going to show you. Okay. Now, it's at this point I'll state that a website, what you just saw on that site, is written using what we call HTML. Okay. Now, what is HTML? HTML is the language used in writing the skeleton of any websites. When I mean skeleton, I mean the images, the text, the visual display, what you actually see on a web page when you visit any website. What you see there written, and everything there is written using HTML, although they are sometimes used in connection with other scripts like the CSS style scripts and the JavaScript, and maybe a back-end processing script, maybe PHP or any other. But the backbone, the visual thing you're seeing there, is written using HTML. Now, what is HTML? HTML is an acronym that stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So you see H for hyper, T for text, M for markup, and L for language. Okay, so this is just an overview. Now, HTML is a markup language. So now, what is a markup? A markup language is a set of markup tags, and the question is, what is a markup? The markup is a notation, so that's why I have to define that here. A markup is a notation that is used to indicate how text should be displayed. So you tell your browser, the web browser, the way you want your text to be displayed. This is a text document. What you're viewing here is a text document, and I can format this document, or I can mark it up, and it will be displayed in an entirely different way, such that when you see it, you'll not even know it is something that was written like this. So that is what an HTML document does. It transforms an ordinary text document like this into something more beautiful or more structured. So those notations which you use to tell your web browser, which HTML files are meant to be interpreted by web browsers. So those notations which you use to tell the web browser to display the text in a particular way, in maybe particular orientation, particular positions, and all that to the user is what we call HTML. So that is what a markup is. Now, an HTML document consists of tags. So when you open an HTML document, a typical HTML document, what you'll be seeing is just tags. And what are tags? So these tags describe different document content. So the tags will tell the web browser which content, the tags hold content, of course. Tags which you use to describe links, the tags which you use to describe buttons, the tags which you use to describe images, the tags which you use to describe, in fact, virtually everything which you want to display. So that is what a tag does. And a tag in HTML, that's surrounded by angle brackets. So you always see something like this. You see this braces, this bracket here. Sorry, this is not moving. Okay, the bracket here is what I call angle bracket. Okay, what is inside? The sort of less than greater than bracket is the angle bracket. Now, I also say that most tags have both opening and closing tags. Example, this tag here, HTML, is a tag on its own, and of course you see it's surrounded by the left angle bracket and the right angle bracket. So that is the opening tag, the first one, while the second one here is the closing tag, and you see it is preceded by a forward slash. So the closing tag of any HTML document is usually preceded by a forward slash. So this is a typical example of a tag that has both opening and closing tag. Now the closing tag is like the opening tag, I've already said that, but preceded by / before the tag name. Now we also have some tags. There exist some tags which do not have an explicit closing tag, and such tags are said to be self-closing tags. So a typical example is the line break tag, which is what I wrote here, the BR. It's a line break. So if you insert it in your document, it will break the line and starts the write-up on a new line. So these tags like that are called self-closing tags. We also have tags like that. Now sometimes the / in front, or they're supposed to be in front. The / in front of the self-closing tag can be safely omitted without generating an error. That's actually true. Okay, and then the last thing I want to say before we wrap this up, and then we go straight into writing our first HTML script or HTML file. I want to state that the file extension for HTML files are the .html and .htm. These are, so anytime you say document that ends with .html, it means it's an HTML document and it's meant for browsers. So that is that. This is just a general overview, just something worth to test. Now in the next video tutorial, we're going straight into writing our first HTML file, and trust me, it will be all fun. And that will be more practical than this. So it's just a sort of theoretical background to what we're going to do practically from the next video onward. So stay tuned, and don't forget to like the video and to subscribe, because amazing content awaits you. Thank you very much. Cheers.